The ring, wearing black and officially weighing in at 145 pounds. As a professional, a perfect record consisting of 24 fights, 24 victories, including 13 KOs from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., USA. The undefeated Dusty Hernández-Harrison.
So every day around this time I leave my house and go to the gym. Same thing. Boxing is a routine sport. The same thing all the time, over and over again. You ask a lot of boxers what their goal is in boxing. A lot of them say they want to be a world champion, or they want to be the best, whatever. And people always look at me kind of crazy when I say that's not what my goal is or anything. My goal is to be kind of one of the I want to be a fighter like Felix Trinidad, where all the Puerto Ricans love them, or Ricky Hatton, where people from the UK would fly over, thousands and thousands of them. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Mexico loved him. He had the most attendance ever in boxing when he fought in Mexico. I want to be one of those fighters, and starting that in DC, they really come out and they support me. And I want to be that type of fighter. I guess they call it, kind of like the people's champion. I think that means more to me than any belt, is to be appreciated and loved by the people and be somebody that they can look up to and be, I guess a role model for anything. Just, I want them to aspire to be somebody like me, like the young kids. That'd be great.
I came home in the 90s, and I went away in 1980. I got home in 90, and I moved to Naylor Gardens, back where I grew up at and stuff. In the 90s was pretty tough out there. Every day, they got drive-bys, and the National Guard would come out and they would patrol the block there.
Hello. Hey, I'm getting my haircut right now, but afterwards we're probably gonna walk down the road. I told you about the video people and everything. Yeah, we'll probably walk down afterwards. I want to see the basement and all that.
It was pretty bad, and then the people were bragging when we got murder capital. DC got murder capital a few years in a row. I don't know whether it was 500 murders a year or 400 something, and it was this. And I understand too, because I've been there, and I'll explain that. But people were, the street got people were like, yeah, we won it. We're the murder capital, and it was cool to them. And now I look back and think how foolish I was when I was a kid.
Now we're heading down to the apartment that I grew up in. My dad still lives there.
Hi, Dusty. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good to see you.
You too.
Oh, hi, buddy.
How
What
are
are you guys doing? Taking movies?
Yep.
Yay!
Dusty was born in '94. And where we live at, and it's a pretty tough neighborhood in southeast Washington, D.C.
It wasn't too bad. When I say it wasn't too bad, but I guess people who weren't from southeast or neighborhoods like that, everybody in the area, had it rough. And I was lucky. I had both my parents, and my dad, he married somebody else, and she's been just as involved as any parent could be. So, and I had 3 parents, and everybody over here, struggling to have one. So, I was definitely blessed with that. But this is the building that I grew up in. It's where the first gym was. We made a gym in the basement. We had the First gym in the basement. We took kids from the elementary school. We trained there for years. I had my first couple fights out of there.
Well, I just wanted him to be able to fight, to take care of himself. I didn't anticipate it becoming this. So he started very young. Before he could even stand up, I had him throwing punches. Where he would jog. He was young. He was
2 years old.
I'd make him jog around this, right here. Yeah, 10 laps, 20 laps. And I would hold the mitts for him right here.
Before I could stand up, he would take my hands and, punch when I was a little baby. I got videos of me when I'm 10 months old in the onesie. I just learned how to walk, and he's, shadow boxing. Pictures of me when I'm 2 in the same apartment. We got a little toy heavy bag.
You have to be 8 years old to get your license to box. So he got his license at 8 years old. He fought 1 week later. And then he fought. He was in a Golden Gloves tournament. And he won the Golden Gloves locally. You cannot travel until you're 10 years old. So then he kept winning and winning and winning. At 8 years old, he had 28 fights, which is unheard of for an 8-year-old. I mean, you were really fighting a lot.
I fought so much. I was known for the kid for, the most fights. By the time I turned, right before I turned 11, I had my 100th amateur fight.
His first national title was 2004. Then he won 2005, 2006. In 2007, 2008, and 2009, he won the National Golden Gloves in Las Vegas. And then he won a national title in 2010. Now he's getting a little older. He's 16 years old. Now I realize that this is a little bit more than taking care of himself. I said he might make a career out of this.
Getting ready to make the walk for the first time as a professional, Dusty Hernández, the 17-year-old from Washington, D.C., fighting out of old school boxing. He will become the youngest professional fighter in the U.S. when he enters the ring tonight.
We chose to turn pro, not only because we thought he was ready, but because of the money. We had nothing.
We grew up. We were on, we were on welfare, WIC. I remember standing in line with my dad to get the food stamps and everything.
When we went out of town, I purposely waited to check in the hotel in the morning when we'd spend the night in the car. Because if you check in after 6 o'clock, you're able to stay in the hotel. An extra night. So we had to do things like that to get the money to take off.
Are you want to take a minute? Yeah. Sorry.
I decided to turn pro when I was only 16 years old, and we had the fight contract signed and everything, but it didn't happen until right after I turned 17. I was still a junior in high school when I made my pro debut.
He got an exception. You're not allowed to fight until you're 18 years old. They made an exception for him because he had 197 amateur fights. So he had his first pro fight in Memphis, Tennessee. It was televised.
17, I looked pretty young. I fought a 38-year-old in my pro debut. And, I feel good. I've been preparing strong, beat me before I knew I had the fight, so I feel ready. And I still feel like I'm the more experienced person with 197 amateur fights, so I think I'll be fine.
Dusty Hernández making history against Alfonso Alexander.
At the weigh-ins, my mom seen him, and he was all cut up. I think he was a fitness trainer himself.
His mother started crying.
She said he's gonna beat her baby up.
Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the red corner, making his professional debut, the youngest fighter in America at 17 years old. From Washington, D.C., he is Dusty Hernández.
And he won.
Doraville, Georgia, Montero. Nice body punches there, and a flurry from Dusty Hernández. And the flurry hasn't stopped yet, it's still going. Up, toe down.
But it went great. It couldn't have went better. Even though I didn't get the knockout, but I won every round, and I still kind of glad it went 4 rounds. I got to show that I have everything that you need to be a successful pro fighter. I think the most difficult thing about boxing being my career is it really engulfs your life. There's no season. There's no like I said, no season, no off season. There's no, you could fight any time of the year, and it's been like that since I was 8 years old. And every day after school from when I was little, growing up, I went to the gym. I think that's what my dad and mom argued about. I went to the gym before I did homework. And I was never a regular kid. I didn't I didn't hang out on the street too much and play, unless it was maybe the weekend, but it was always boxing. Boxing always came first for everything, especially when I was with my dad, because my parents were divorced. I went back and forth.